Across Australia, New Zealand and the South Pacific, this is the week's Adventist News in Focus with David Gibbons.
Thanks for your company. It's nice to be with you. The Adventist Development and Relief Agency has been given a $3 million grant by the Australian Agency for International Development, or AusAID. The money will be used to help young people in the Solomon Islands to develop life skills, resilience in the face of difficulty and community engagement skills.
This is one of several large grants we've successfully bid for, and it reveals the confidence that AusAID has in ADRA's ability to be able to appropriately and sustainably meet people's needs and really make a difference in their lives.
ADRA's Youth Engagement and Livelihood Project will work with youth groups, sporting clubs, community learning centres and church leadership groups. The project is a partnership between ADRA Australia and ADRA Solomon Islands. And in breaking news, 421 people were baptised last weekend at Port Vila in Vanuatu. At the same time, another 500 made the decision to accept Jesus Christ and will be baptised soon. A Christian TV station in the United States has just received an Emmy nomination for one of its programs for the fourth time. Seventh-day Adventist businessman Carlos Padero owns and runs Safe TV, a Christian family channel free of profanity, violence and immorality.
Our program Native New Day to the National Academy of Television, Arts and Sciences for an Emmy. And we were just so delighted to hear that we have now been nominated for the fourth year in a row with this great distinction. And the entries, the name of the entry, the episode of Native New Day, they are, as you know, 20. This one particularly was entitled, or is entitled, To Heal a Wounded Heart. And we're just delighted.
Hello, I'm Monty Church, and welcome again to another episode of Native New Day. It's here the hearts of our native Indian brothers and sisters everywhere were broken by an incident that remains vivid in our memories to this day. Here, 4 days after Christmas in the year 1890, the last major massacre by the U.S. government of our native people took place.
The Emmy is a television production award and is considered the television equivalent of the Academy Awards. This year's Emmy winners will be announced on the 3rd of October. Seventh-day Adventists across the UK and Ireland will be publicly demonstrating how central the Bible is to Adventist faith this coming week. A large Bible with each of its 66 books printed in a different language will stop by as part of its 18-month journey around the world. Whilst Adventist worship has always been Bible-focused, the Bible tour is a call to all Christians to read the Bible more regularly. Like other Christians, only half of Adventists read the Bible at least once a week. Archaeologists, theologians, historians and clergy from several Christian denominations will be joining Adventists in celebrating the relevance of the Bible in the 21st century. The Bible will go on public show in London and Dublin before it travels on to other European destinations during September. Scores of New Zealand Adventists have returned to an impoverished, AIDS-ridden black community in South Africa. The Papatoe Seventh-day Adventist Community Church in South Auckland originally visited South Africa's Limpopo district in 2008. They built a meeting house in the community of Cottondale, which has allowed the rapidly growing Adventist church to meet for worship and serve their local community. Now, another team from the Papatoe Church has just returned from a second visit. Team members built a 3-room preschool where orphans can receive a daily meal and learn about Jesus. The Goodwill tourists from New Zealand raised their own airfares and many gave their shoes and clothes away before they returned home. And there's more. 15 Seventh-day Adventists from all over Australia flew to Rumah Yukan in Sarawak to help build a church for the local community. Sarawak is on the island of Borneo and is a province of Malaysia. In just 8 days, a team led by retired Pastor Calvin Townend built the church almost from scratch. As a result of an evangelistic series led by Townend in 2008, the local chief and 142 people from Rumah Yukan were converted to Jesus Christ and baptised. Leaders of the Sarawak mission, which has 20,000 Adventist members, calculated they needed 5 new churches to accommodate the converts. The gospel is readily received by the tribal people of Sarawak, and about 1,000 people are baptised every year. Another trip is planned for August 2010, and volunteers are welcome. And in this week's edition of Record, Western Australian Conference President Glenn Townend shares his 2020 vision for Western Australia: 20,000 Adventists, 2,000 small groups and 200 churches by the year 2020. 100 men gathered at the Mount Hutt retreat in the South Island of New Zealand to renew their passion for God and his mission. Betty's Clinic, a new DVD from Adventist Health, will help educate children in the Pacific Islands about the dangers of smoking and alcohol. And Adele Nash focuses on the importance of writing in this week's editorial. Tell us more, Adele.
Well, thanks for that, David. It's about more than being just a writer. It's about being a writer who is just. But I think that's something that all Christians should be focusing on, being just and doing good things. But you can read more about it in this week's record.
In the full half hour of InFocus this week, lay evangelist Leo Shreven tells how he became a Christian, and Francine Bell takes one giant leap for mankind. Well, that's the news for this week. Thanks for your company. I'm David Gibbons.